Today we're doing 6.7, volume of pyramids and cones. And volume, remember, is what you can fill inside a 3D object or figure. Pyramids get their name similar to prisms by their base. So if we look at this first one, this yellow object, we would call this a rectangular pyramid because the base is a rectangle. The second one, or this red one, we would call a triangular pyramid because that base is a triangle. And finally, the one that has the circle, we call a cone. Let's start by defining a pyramid. A pyramid is a name for the shape of its base, like we said before, and the base is always going to be a polygon. So as, for example, the rectangular polygon, that base was a rectangular, and every other side or face was a triangle. So all of the faces are going to be triangles. The other one was the triangular pyramid, where the base was a triangle, and then again, all of the faces were triangles. The second one that we need to get down is cone, and it's going to have a circular base, as we had said before. And it's also good to mention that the height is measured from the highest point to the base. So to find volume of both of these objects, we are going to do 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. So we're going to start the same exact way as we're always going to start with finding the area of the base. And then we will plug it in to this equation, and we always have to remember units cubed. Alright, let's start with this top green example, and we'll do this one together. This is an example of a rectangular pyramid. So again, we are using 1/3 times the base times the height. So first, we're always going to find the area of the base. So to do that, if I think, well, how to find the area of the base of a rectangle, I'm just going to do 3 times 3, which is 9. So the area of the base of this rectangle is 9. So now I'm going to plug it in to our equation of 1/3 base times height. So I'm going to do 1/3, my base is 9, and my height here that they're giving me is 4. So times 4. So what I can do is 1/3, and then 9 times 4 is 36. You can also think of this as 36 divided by 3, which would equal 12, and then I need to include units cubed. So let's try this second one, or this cone here. Again, I'm going to use 1/3 base times the height. Now here we have to start with our base, and our base is a circle. So we need to know the radius, and the radius is 2. So we're going to do 2 squared times pi. Well, this we can rewrite as 4 pi, and remember we're going to use 3.14. And when I do that, if I multiply 4 by 3.14, I get 12.56. We're not going to round until the very end of the equation. So now I can take this base and I can plug it back into this formula again. So 1/3, my base is 12.56, and my height is 3. So first I'm going to multiply these two numbers together, so I get 1/3 times 37.68. Now the order here doesn't matter. If you had done 1/3 times 12.56 and then multiplied it by 3, you're going to get the same answer. So then if I divide this number, if I do 37.68 divided by 3, I want to round to the nearest tenth, or 1 decimal. So I get 12.6. And I need to include units cubed. Let's try a triangular pyramid now. So remember, that formula of volume equals 1/3 base times height should be in your head. Now if I look, the base of this object is a triangle. So to find the area of a triangle, we have base times height divided by 2. My base of this triangle is 3 and the height is 8. So I'm going to do 3 times 8 divided by 2, which is going to equal 24 divided by 2. So my base equals 12. So now I can go and plug it in to my equation. So volume equals 1/3. My base is 12. And my height is 8. So I'm going to do 12 times 8, which is 96, times 1/3. Remember, this is the same thing as 96 divided by 3. So you end up getting 32 units cubed. Let's try another cone. So I'm going to write that equation again. Volume equals 1/3 times base times height. So first identify your base. You should notice that the base here is a circle. So you should be thinking, how can I find area of a circle? So to find area of a circle, if it helps, you can always write down that equation too. To find the area of a circle, you're going to do the radius squared times pi. So let's just plug in what we know. Well, I see that my radius here is 2, so I'm going to do 2 squared times pi, which I can rewrite as 4. And then I also know that pi, and we're going to use this 3.14. And when I multiply those out, I get 12.56. Now I can take that and plug it into my equation. So volume equals 1/3. The base that we just figured out is 12.56 times our height, which they show me is 12. So if I multiply these two numbers out, I get 1/3 times 150.72. Remember, this is the same thing as dividing by 3. So what you should end up getting, we're always going to round to the nearest tenth, is 50.3 units cubed. I want to see if you can do this last one on your own. So as I'm going through it, pause it every now and then compare your answers to mine. So start off by our volume equals 1/3 base times height. Identify your base. You should have said that your base is a parallelogram or a rectangle. So how do we find the base of a parallelogram or rectangle? See if you can figure that out. You should have done 8 times 10, or base times height, which gives you 80. See if you can figure out plugging in the next part of the formula. You should have done 1/3. We just figured out the base of 80, and our height is 15. See if you can solve this on your own and compare your final answer to mine. You should have said 1/3 times 1200. This is, remember, 1200 divided by 3 as well, which gives you 400, and then you need to include units cubed. At this point, you can now fill out your exit slip.